Hello guys, today I would like to show you my miner build for a hardcore Metamorph, which uses Ball of Lightning, but I was leveling with the Arcane and was using Pyroclast Mine for bossing fights. Okay, so this will be more like an overview. You can make your own version. So let's just go through the equipment for the first. I usually do not have the stuff, so that was the first time I wanted to use that. So we have a Tremor, which gives us additional to our games and is supported plus Best Chain Mine. This is the most important, and also the very good thing is that the mines can be detonated an additional time. So if I throw the mine, you can see that it's 5. I click it once, I can click it once again before those mines are done. So 5 mines are setting like the fire 10 projectiles. Okay, so we have a Tremor. This is the unique. It's not expensive, only in the 6-link version, or if it would be double corruption, it would be much more yeah. Okay, we use also Kaoms because this is the live version. I wanted to have as much HP as possible, and Kaoms gives definitely the highest value. You could also use some Elder Armor combined with Kaoms Roots, which is 200 HP, and I would recommend that, to be honest, on the boss fights where you cannot be frozen to the death or stunned, because we will talk about this later, but Saboteur has shock and ignite immunity, but still you can be poisoned, you can bleed, and you can be stunned, and you can be freeze or chillen. So for a boss fights like with Elder, I would recommend to Kaoms Roots and some Elder high life version, but you will have to fix the resistances. Yeah. Okay, so we have a boots, and this is, I guess, all the unique are here, the Kaoms and the Tremor. On the helmet I had some life, and also the very good stats is the 9% of physical damage from his taken as cold. This gives us some physical damage mitigation. Okay, this is just an amulet with a Tremor, which is the mana point in the tree. I have 2 vermilion to have some more HP, and the gloves and the belt are just as you can see. What I was trying to have on the gear is to have as much chaos resistance as possible. So it is not a perfect yet, but as you can see, I have chaos here, I have chaos here, I have chaos here, I have chaos here, and that's it. And I have chaos here, which gives me like 39 resistance, and this is super good for Metamorph, since a lot of things can happen during playing, especially on the hardcore. Okay, so we went through that. Now we will go to the potions. I have 1 instant flask for a bleeding. I like to have combined the instant and the bleeding on the life flask. The next one is the poison. With it would be better actually to some duration or something instead of those when you take critical strike, but whatever it happens. Adrenaline flask for a Quicksilver. I have immunity to freeze and increase effect, which gives us more physical reduction, I assume. And the very important also is immune to curses, and the flask is not removed at full mana. Normally the flask is stopped when you just reach the full mana, as you can see right now. But now it works for the whole time. I couldn't be cursed, and you have like 5 uses of that. So when you are mapping and you are like, you just You are just constantly with a correct. Okay, never mind. You are constantly with a curse immunity unless you do something bad, which I show you later what I did. Okay, I wanted to have quite a lot of mana free, so I did not have any more auras because I use Mine of Matter, but I will go through this later. Okay, so we are using Precision to give some critical strike chance and some of Skitterbots, which are giving that we affect them, the minions with the ailments much easier. Okay, so we have the Ball Lightning, we are using Smoke Mine to travel, combined with Flame Dash for other distance, which is supported by Arcane Surge, and for the boss fights we have Decoy Totem. Okay, maybe let's go through the skills. I have Ball Lightning. For the mapping I was using Trap and Mine damage. It is not full leveled as you can see. Okay, so Ball Lightning, Trap and Mine damage, Minefield, Inspiration, Lightning Penetration, and added cold damage to give some chill effect. For the boss fights I was swapping to the Slower Projectiles, which is something like that, compared to the fast on the maps, because the projectile of the lightning ball has its duration, and if it's travel faster it will travel longer. And if it's the slower projectile, when you are fighting with a boss which is in the one place standing, it gives massive more damage than even that the trap and mine is giving more damage to the skill than the slow to the DPS than the slower. As you can see, I have something like that and something like that with the trap and mine. But trust me, on the boss fights it's much better. Okay, let's go to a tree. I will give you a path of building link in the description. Okay, let's talk about the tree. This is the really normal version of the Saboteur life miner, which has quite a lot of life compared to the other builds, mostly because I was using the staff, so I wanted to somehow fill it, so I have a lot of life on the tree. Also, I have now Dreamer from the Anoint, but the goal was to take Soul of Steel, which is here, but it is so much expensive on the hardcore. It's around 9 to 10 exalted, so really, but it gives you +1 to maximum elemental resistances and 5 additional physical reduction. Armor is also nice, but those 2 points are really the best. Otherwise, you could pick some up life on, as I did, mana on the tree, because we are using Mom. So as you can see, this has a lot of life and have Mom, but what are the odds? It's nothing really strange compared to the others, I guess. What we would do now, going to 100 from that 92, is I would delete that if I level up to take the jewel socket. Another jewel socket would be here, another would be here, and the last one would be here. So as you can see, I have still 8 points to add for a jewel, which gives us 4 jewel sockets, which in the perfect version is 28% of the life. I will give you a path of building description, and also like 28 for each jewel to the critical multiplier, so it is like still around 100 with some damage combined. Okay, let's talk about the Ascendancy. So, as the hardcore player, and the first point I always take is Burn in the Shadows, because it let me go through the game like I'm so much evasion, etc. Thanks to that, yeah, I dodge almost everything. And I have also higher damage, so I cannot be blind. Reduce damage taken from the blind enemies, which is super good for just giving the smoke mine in the enemy, for example, in Act 5, etc. It gives you to just run through the map until it is really high tier. Okay, so this is the first point. second point is the Pyromaniac, which gives us immunity to Ignite and Shock, and also a very good point which sometimes is using for energy shield base builds, because AS builds has a problem with regeneration. Thanks to that, it was even nerfed, but up to 10%. Okay, so we have 10% of life per second for each mine detonate recently, which is like, and it's that. Let's see how much of life regeneration I do have thanks to that. Life regeneration, where do we have it? I'm just blind, cannot see it. Okay, it should be indefinite. Yeah, life regeneration. Okay, so when I used 5, you can see I have 200 normally from the tree and the tree, but if I do that, I go to 1000, which is super good for essence. Energy shield builds, it's even more. So we have that. So I have immune and the regeneration. This is why this point is taken. The next point is Bomb Specialis, which is the Merslab, and for the Uber we are taking Explosive Expert. I know it's a lot of damage, but I would say it's by far the last but not least, but I think really that Burn the Shadows and Pyromaniac are much better. But this is the hardcore perspective. If you're softcore, you can take others as a start, and it should be still fine. And we have the Pantheon. So I have Soul of Lunaris because it gives me some movement speed combined with additional physical reduction, and Soul of Shakari, which reduces the house damage taken. Even I have quite a lot of chaos resistance, but for Metamorph it is really needed.
Let's just go with this. Whatever it is. Pretty cool, man. I'm just so excited for this. I'm so excited for this. Like, this is sick. This is so sick. Immune, dude. Like, that's what I wanted for this coil, but now I'm going without even using the coil. I don't know, man. I might start using this. I can even use poison immune. Oh my god. Bro, fuck that. I'm gonna use poison immune.
Okay, I will tell you why I died. The first thing, I was against Soul Bearers, so you cannot be in one place as I did. This is the first thing. And another thing, now I have, as you can see, now I have my mana flask up, which is going, and I have no vulnerability, but I did not click it again. Okay, maybe you didn't catch it. Here comes the vulnerability. So, the hit, I guess, from 4k hit up to the 7k. Okay, 7k, because it took me like 4, let's say 5k, right? And 200 from mana, which is combined around 7k, because my mana down to 0. So it was the hit 7k. Now I have the Steelskin plus around 3000, which gives me 5k instead of 7k, which is the second hit. With Curse immunity and vulnerability not affecting me, I think the hit could be 4k and I could stand those 2 hits. Maybe I could move in that time, because you know, if something happens, adrenaline and that stuff. Okay, that's why I died. You know what to do not. I hope you enjoyed the build. Thank you very much.